As energy cannons locked on target, Alex's voice cut through the tension like a blade. King Orm, looks like your lady isn't rushing to save you. Those cannons aren't just for me, are they? Orm shot back, defiant but uneasy. Mara's my fiancée, eat on twist things. But even as he spoke, doubt crept in. He knew Mara's heart was distant, her loyalty questionable. That seed of suspicion bloomed darkly across his face. Then Mara stormed into the palace, her voice firm, slicing through Alex's proposition like lightning through ocean mist. Absolutely not. The mother box isn't yours to claim. Atlantis has guarded it for generations. It binds Earth's fate. Give it away, and Darkseid will return. Even Atlantis won't survive that storm. Her words hit like a tidal wave, snapping Orm into grim resolve. He didn't care for the surface, but Atlantis was his blood. His voice rang with finality. Fire! Defeat the intruders! The order rang out, but their attack never reached him. Beams that could melt steel froze midair, unable to cross the boundary of Alex's infinity. Even Superman's heat vision had failed. What chance did they have? With a quiet sigh, Alex acknowledged once again that diplomacy wasn't his strength. He wasn't violent by nature, but when words failed, power spoke. Forming a sacred hand sign, energy erupted from him like a divine wave. Platinum wings unfurled with celestial brilliance, and his domain surged outward, engulfing the entire city. Unlimited void activated. Chaos flooded the minds of the Atlanteans, freezing them in place, their thoughts shattered by the overload. He didn't waste energy turning them into followers. That was too costly. He had his Amazon Sethriel ageless warriors, more captivating than any fantasy. Why trade them for a salty ocean army? Only 4 remain standing in the silence, as Mara stands frozen in disbelief, surrounded by her immobilized soldiers. Alex casually munches on a strange fruit, his tone relaxed, almost amused. Didn't want them hurt, he says, brushing off her horror, so I just quieted them down. Her outrage grows, but Alex only smirks, revealing the soldiers may remain unconscious for centuries longer than even Atlanteans can endure. Orm's shock erupts, but Alex doesn't flinch. Instead, he coldly explains his expanding domain now stretches time so far that all of Atlantis could slumber for millennia. Congratulations, Princess Mara, he mocks. You've just wiped out your entire kingdom without lifting a finger. As Orm reels, Alex gives a final jab, eyes glowing, voice laced with cosmic sarcasm. Really, don't underestimate me. My domain spans beyond Atlantis itself, and you'd best figure out your next move after its fall. If it were me, I'd go for revenge. But let's face it, you're outmatched. Take it out on Mara, the one who pushed you to challenge me in the first place. The words cut through the tension like a blade. Orm's fury ignited, teeth clenched, gaze locked on Mara as if she were the storm that sank his empire. You wretched traitor! You tried to vaporize me the second you showed up, and now you've shattered Atlantis. Mara's composure crumbled. Desperate, she stumbled through a defense. No, the cannons were just to scare you off. I never meant for them to fire unless I saw your defenses were insane. Even then, your body could have survived. It wasn't about destroying you. It was about protecting Earth. Alex smirked, fanning the flames. Yeah, Earth, not Atlantis. Why would she care about a kingdom that isn't hers? Enough! Shut up! Mara barked at him, but Orm roared over them both, his wrath boiling over. You wretched woman, I'll neutralize you myself. But rage meant nothing. Alex's grip held firm, locking Orm in place, leaving his vengeance trapped behind unmoving limbs and cosmic stillness. With a cosmic smirk and divine confidence, Alex accepted King Orm's Tributian ultra-rare set of infinite energy armor, a sun-fed marvel that mocked science itself. Only 2 existed in all Atlantis, and now 1 belonged to him. Orm, never subtle, added a procession of elite mermaids, each trained in both battle and servitude, insisting they serve Alex as personal attendants. But when Alex refused, Orm turned threatening, declaring the maids would be executed if rejected. Reluctantly, Alex accepted not out of desire, but to spare needless bloodshed, already planning a timeless punishment for Orm's corruption. Returning to his pocket universe, Alex brought along the crimson-haired Princess Mara, whose defiance still burned bright. But instead of overpowering her mind with domain, he leaned close, whispering with a calm that froze the blood. Your Highness, you wouldn't want to see your country bathed in blood, would you? The color drained from Mara's face as she grasped his intent. With a cold smile, Alex made his demand. Become my maid, or Zeeble falls. You know I can do it. As King Orm presented Alex with the legendary infinite energy armorone of only 2 in existence, crafted to harness sunlight and channel endless cosmic force, the very laws of nature bent in awe. But Orm didn't stop there. He thrust upon Alex an entourage of elite mermaids, trained both in battle and servitude, insisting that a warrior of Alex's stature must be attended. Alex, ever composed and austere, refusingly to be met with a chilling ultimatum: reject them and seal their doom. Reluctantly, he accepted, his mind already calculating the consequences for Orm's audacity. With Princess Mara now in tow, fire-haired and unbroken, Alex returned to his private dimension. When Mara defied him yet again, he didn't raise his hand only, his voice low and cold. "Your Highness, you wouldn't want to see your country bathed in blood, would you?" Her bravado shattered as Alex whispered the final verdict: "Serve him. Or watch Zeeble vanish beneath his infinite might." Her body trembled, mind racing with dread and disbelief, until her strength gave out defeated. She whispered, "I agree to become your maid, boss." But the silence that followed was heavier than chains. Alex tilted his head, unimpressed. He hummed, a note of warning in the quiet. Swallowing her pride, she lowered her gaze and bowed. "Master," she said. A slow smile curled across his face. "That's more like it. Good girl." With Mara now under his sway, Alex fortified his pocket universe's barrier and embedded the infinite energy suit deep within Paradise Island. By channeling external sunlight inward, the suit generated boundless energy unstable for long-term circuits but perfect for daily operations. A full set could power entire nations, yet for Alex, it was just another tool. Days passed in focus training. Sweat dripped as he pushed his body and honed his mastery of the mirror dimensional, level 2. 5 kilometers of isolated space, untouched by reality. He envisioned a day it would evolve into a self-contained world, fused with his pocket dimension. The fusion progress ticked toward 80%. Once complete, the final skill abyss would awaken, promising untold power. Suspended on a floating island above Paradise, Alex concluded his regimen. Beside him, Mara and Catwoman collapsed from exhaustion. One quick rinse later, he opened a gleaming portal, locking onto Cyborg's position as the next phase of his dominion began. As Alex stood amidst the fractured light of his pocket universe, he glanced down at Cyborg with a calm, godlike clarity. The mother box was not enough for the vision he held. Kneeling, with a voice smooth yet unreadable, Alex offered something greater than power: restoration. "The mother box isn't yours," he said, "but I'll offer you something for guarding it. I can restore your original human body. Would you like that?" Cybergont's Victor Stone, once human, froze. The accident, the machine limbs, the years of isolation, of being more code than flesh, all surged back. He had spent so long wrestling with his fragmented identity, a soul wired into synthetic limbs, eyes no longer reflecting the boy he once was. And now, in the wake of a failed assault on this intruder who effortlessly countered his full force, this same being stood before him, offering an impossible return. His voice shook, disarmed by disbelief and awe. "Who are you? Is this conversation helpful so far?" Cyborg lay defeated, sparks flickering from his shattered form, as Alex stood calm amidst the wreckage, expression unreadable, eyes glowing with cosmic authority. The clash had been brief. Cyborg's enhanced systems, merged with the will of the mother box, were effortlessly overpowered. But instead of claiming final dominance, Alex knelt, voice composed yet otherworldly, and offered a choice: the restoration of a human life long lost. Cyborg froze. His machine instincts screamed, but something deeper stirred a memory of pain, isolation, and the faint echo of who he once was. The portal, the overwhelming energy, the ease with which his every move was neutralized, it all pointed to a force beyond comprehension. And now, this being, this interdimensional presence who twisted reality like thread, offered him something the universe never could: humanity. Struggling to comprehend, Cyborg's voice cracked through static haze. "Who are you?" Alex didn't bother with introduction stew. Many had asked the same dull question: "Who are you?" He cut straight to the point, voice sharp like shattered steel. "Hurry, state your request. Do you want to become human?" The cyborg hesitated, then finally declared, "I want to become human." Though gifted with strength, he was cursed with isolation, haunted by the wary eyes of those he once called friends. Alex gave a knowing nod. "See? Simple." With a flick of divine will, his reversal technique surged ancient power capable of restoring even machines to their primal state. Flesh began to reclaim metal despite the mechanical warnings screaming from the cyborg's frame. They were powerless under the crushing force of Alex's domain. Piece by piece, humanity returned skin over circuits, blood over wires until no trace of the machine remained. The transformation complete, Alex coolly reached into his pocket dimension, pulled forth a conscious, squirming symbiote, and slapped it onto the newly reborn man's face without a second thought. The symbiote latched onto Cyborg like a living shadow, fusing in a heartbeat, but neither mind bowed. Instead, they stabilized into a hybrid form that echoed Cyborg's original frame, now pulsing with raw, alien power. Alex gave a satisfied nod, his voice calm yet laced with cosmic weight. "As expected from a superhero, even merged, you hold your shape." With a flick of power, He opened a dimensional rift and vanished back to Themyscira, leaving Cyborg stunned and haunted by a second voice in his mind, thrumming with strange energy and conflicted purpose. He wasn't just human again, he was something more. Back in his pocket universe, Alex placed the final mother box into a radiant hub, triggering a surge of fused energy from mythic relics and cosmic tech. The boxes reacted violently, gravity spiking, space warping, yet never fully merging, held back by Alex's careful dimensional weave. The result? A newly expanded pocket world, city-sized, pulsing with level 5 energy enough to fuel his ascension well into the 6th tier. With that, Alex's mission in the DC realm reached its crescendo. The Joker, now fused with the power of the 7 deadly sins, has become their living embodiment madness so absolute it overrides even ancient primal forces. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor ambushed me and hijacked a fragment of my symbiote, gaining a twisted new form that somehow surpasses my own strength, even though his combat skills are inferior. The nightmare worsens. Luthor and Joker have joined forces, using Zod's genetic material from the Black Zero event to engineer a new Doomsday. Yeah, it's exactly as bad as it sounds. Alex, barely keeping up, reels from the info dump. Joker's insanity, Luthor's cunning, and now a reborn Doomsday? It's chaos incarnate. And yes, they're the ones who tore me apart. Superman tried to fight beside me, but Kryptonite drained him, Luthor finished the job, and now he's in mortal danger. Do you like this personality? The Joker, now fused with the primal force of the 7 deadly sins, has twisted their essence to his will, becoming their living embodiment pure madness wrapped in raw metaphysical power. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor ambushed and extracted a piece of the symbiote, forging his own enhanced form, one that somehow surpasses even superior combat instincts. And now, these two monsters have joined forces, weaponizing Zod's genetic remnants from the Black Zero incident to craft a Clonia vessel for Doomsday. As Batman struggles to stay conscious, wounded, and coughing, Alex listens in disbelief. Superman has fallen, poisoned by kryptonite, and taken down by Lex, leaving the world on the edge of annihilation, with 2 madmen holding the match to the powder keg. The Joker, now fused with the primal force of the 7 deadly sins, has twisted their essence to his will, becoming their living embodiment pure madness wrapped in raw metaphysical power. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor ambushed and extracted a piece of the symbiote, forging his own enhanced form, one that somehow surpasses even superior combat instincts. And now, these two monsters have joined forces, weaponizing Zod's genetic remnants from the Black Zero incident to craft a Clonia vessel for Doomsday. As Batman struggles to stay conscious, wounded, and coughing, Alex listens in disbelief. Superman has fallen, poisoned by kryptonite, and taken down by Lex, leaving the world on the edge of annihilation, with 2 madmen holding the match to the powder keg. Batman stood silent, a storm of self-doubt swirling behind the cowl-shamed, humbled, a shadow of the legend he thought he was. If he ever faced another Batman like this Traveler, he wouldn't dare recount his so-called victories. But then, a spark turned, eyes sharp. Traveler Batman, who's the strongest Batman in the multiverse you've ever encountered? Alex paused, then answered with the weight of cosmic memory. White Lantern, Batman wielder of life itself, practically divine. Then there's the God of Knowledge, fused with the Mobius chair, omniscient and cruel, stuck in a cycle of punishing the past. And the evil god, Batman Night Judge, who rose with corrupted gods to conquer all reality. Hearing this, something ignited within Batman. Not despair, but drive. He would not remain a lesser echo. And you? He asked, tone edged with new resolve. Alex blinked, caught off guard he'd never truly ranked himself. Top 10, maybe, he said with a slow grin. But unlike them, I exist in quantum flux. I walk freely across worlds. My potential is still unfolding. Their limits are fixed, carved into cosmic law, but me? I'm built to break ceilings. I could shatter the divine chain itself. Batman stood beside him, confused by terms like quantum superposition and supreme god, but he knew this Batman wasn't like any other. He wasn't even real, and that was the joke. Alex Locke read Batman's thoughts and grinned inside, amused by the irony. From another world, not a true Dark Knight, just a brilliant imposter playing God's chess. They stepped through the portal, landing in a warehouse where Joker laughed like chaos incarnate and a symbiote-wrapped Luthor radiated menace. But Joker's glee cracked when he saw Alex's face. That sinister energy, that impossible presents his laugh, died into a growl. "You're not Batman!" he hissed, as one eye ignited blue beneath a shroud of black mist. Batman spoke, trying to explain, but Joker wasn't having it. "No! He's a fake! A cosmic bug wearing a bat shadow! You've ruined my fun! I was expecting double the amusement!" The Joker snaps, only for Alex to catch the deeper current, the uncanny bond between Joker and Batman. too twisted to fake. With a single glance, Joker had already unmasked Alex's impersonation. Could he actually sense the real Batman across realities? Before Alex could react, Batman cut in with his signature disdain, eyes sharp and voice razor-edged. Joker, your vision is too narrow. The multiverse is filled with endless possibilities. There are many Batmen beyond me. Some of them are even stronger than gods. The words hit like thunder, proud and cold, echoing with a subtle satisfaction that Alex recognized all too well. Batman was savoring his moment, finally flipping the script after countless humiliations. But Joker only cackled louder, drunk on his own madness. My little bat, you've been deceived. No matter the universe, I'll always know you. Even your echoes can't fool me. The confession, twisted as ever, slid right past Batman's iron wall. Disgusted by the Joker's twisted theatrics, Batman charged forward, declaring they were never allies. Their battle erupted with fury, but empowered by Alex's energy, Batman matched the Joker blow for blow even against the dark force of the Seven Sin. Meanwhile, Alex turned to a stunned Lex Luthor and urged him to hurry and create Doomsday. Both Lex and a weakened Superman were stunned, expecting Alex to intervene, not cheer it on. Calmly, Alex explained he saw Doomsday as the perfect test dummy to push his limits. Even the symbiote whispered what they were all thinking: this man was truly insane. Even with only fractured echoes from Batman's symbiote, dread coils in my core whenever I think of him but Lex Luthor. He laughs at fear. Run now while you still can. The symbiote hisses, but Lex dismisses it with venomous confidence. No, I must create Doomsday. His arrogance will be his downfall. In a frenzy of tentacles and cold science, Lex manipulates Zod's clone, warping it into something monstrous. Superman, shackled and powerless, watches in horror, warning, "Stop him, Traveler Batman! Doomsday evolves beyond death itself, he's a living apocalypse!" But Alex is calm, almost thrilled. With a casual step, he shatters Superman's kryptonite binds. Power surges back into the Man of Steel, but his strength is hollow, flickering like a dying star. Alex isn't here to prevent chaos, she's here to witness it. Relax, he says, eyes gleaming. This is just a newborn. He's weaker than you. I've got ways to end him. They were stunned. Traveler Batman had neutralized a fully evolved Doomsday. The cost? Nearly all his power and half the universe's life force, traded for salvation. Now, just a shade of his former glory, he admitted this was merely a fragment of his true strength. What kind of force could he unleash at full power? As the weight of that question settled, Superman and Lex Luthor glanced at the other Batman still locked in brutal combat with the Joker, and the absurdity of comparing Batman nearly broke their minds. Catching Superman's spiraling thoughts, Alex smirked, his voice sharp. You think Batman is lacking, but you don't even realize you're a lesser Superman. I've seen mightier versions, Golden, Silver, Thought Robot, Superboy Prime, titans who could shatter the multiverse. Superman's smile disappeared. Had he really been so blind? Was he just a shadow of greater legends? Was this universe itself the runt of the cosmic litter? The idea burrowed deep, breeding quiet fury. So deep in thought, he forgot about Lex Antil. Red lightning exploded with a thunderclap. Zod's clone twisted and swelled, no longer human. Lex tried to escape, but froze mid-step. Alex, calm as ever, activated Unlimited Void, locking Lex in place as he reached into his mind, peeling back layers to harvest everything he knew. They couldn't believe it. Traveler Batman had actually neutralized a fully evolved Doomsday. The cost? Devastating. Half a universe gone, most of his power drained, yet he still saved it. Now, standing there, he claimed this was just a shadow of his former strength. Superman and Lex Luthor glanced at another Batman, locked in a vicious clash with Joker, the comparison enough to make anyone spiral. Catching Superman's doubtful thoughts, Alex let out a knowing laugh. You think Batman is just a weaker version of himself, but you don't get it. You're just a lesser Superman. I've seen others. Golden, Silver, Thought Robot, Prime beings who could tear reality apart like paper. Superman's confidence faltered. He'd never realized how small he might be. Was this universe itself just inferior? The thought gnawed at him, stealing his focus from Lex. That's when it hit thunder cracked, red lightning exploded, and the heartbeat of something monstrous echoed. Zod's clone began to morph. Unrecognizable, terrifying. Lex turned to run, but froze. Alex activated Unlimited Void, trapping Lex in a psychic chokehold, peeling through his mind like pages of a book. He had to admit it, Luthor's intellect was no joke. It sparked countless upgrades in Alex's barrier tech, which had long evolved past Jujutsu Kaisen roots into a cosmic-class system, fused with tricks from Marvel, Toru, and DC realities. After extracting all he needed, Alex casually dumped Luthor onto a lifeless rock floating in his pocket dimension, ready to rewrite his mind into a loyal architect of Alex's new realm. Betrayal? Laughable. As Alex once declared, defeated enemies aren't rivals. I slow down just to watch them fall behind. Meanwhile, Zod's body twisted and grew, birthing something monstrous, Doomsday. The sky choked under the weight of its raw desecration, and even Batman and the Clown Prince froze mid-battle. Only Alex smiled, already treating Doomsday like his next training dummy. Then came the roar-piercing, endless, echoing across the continent. In Gotham, a radiant warrior rose in response, steel and light replacing worry. Back at Ground Zero, Superman warned, urgency in his voice. But Alex? He just gave a silent wave. No rush. Alex barely raised a hand, and reality cracked like glass. Gotham dissolved into a surreal, warping dreamscape, where buildings twisted like thoughts in a fever dream. Superman, Batman, and the rest froze as Alex's voice echoed, laced with disdain. Against beasts like Doomsday, I have countless ways to shut them down. The silence from the two titans said it all. His words hit their pride. Striding forward with cosmic calm, Alex told them to stand down. I haven't fought seriously since the Celestials. Let me enjoy this. No one dared move except the Joker. Fueled by madness and wrath, he surged with the Seven Sins power and hurled unholy lightning at Alex, laughing manically. That's for crashing my date. He never believed Alex's talk anyway, figured it was all show, but he had no idea. That was no bluff. In a flash, Alex materialized before the Joker, gripping his face with a force that froze time itself. No amount of Joker's wild thrashing could break those 5 fingers. Without a word, Alex funneled decades of knowledge directly into his mind, overloading his senses into collapse, then tossed him into a sealed pocket realm like discarded data. Turning back to the real threat, Alex faced Doomsday, who had just emerged, dripping from its cocoon, eyes locking onto the supreme force before it. Alex's smile widened inside the mirror dimension. He was unbound. Black-red lightning surged as he disappeared, reappearing with a swirl of red-white energy and slamming it into Doomsday's skull. Cursed technique reversal, red. The monster's head burst like shrapnel, body shredded into nothingness by warped reality. But Alex knew better. Doomsday was born to adapt. In seconds, the head regrew. Another red technique followed, less effective this time. The beast was already evolving. Even after its first defeat, Doomsday evolved rapidly, adapting to Alex's energy force and accelerating its healing just as Alex wanted. A regenerating sparring partner was useful, but still, it was too weak. Power flared through Alex as he shattered Doomsday's skull with a knee strike, then dismantled it again and again, each death forcing the creature to mutate, regenerate, and strengthen. But Alex wasn't impressed. With fingers like blades, he sliced through it, and even as Doomsday's might reach levels beyond Superman, Alex's command of gravity and black-red lightning rendered its resistance meaningless. Their combat became so intense that Batman and Superman, watching from afar, could barely track the blinding velocity or withstand the devastating shockwaves. As Doomsday's heat vision nearly carved Batman in half, he cried out for escape. Finally, seeing their battered forms, Alex opened a portal, letting them flee from the collapsing mirror dimension. Outside, the danger faded, but the dread remained. Doomsday was evolving at an alarming rate, and if Alex couldn't contain him inside the mirror dimension, the fallout could unravel the entire cosmos. Superman, tense with the weight of that possibility, questioned Batman, but the Dark Knight, ever the strategist, dismissed the fear. According to Traveler Batman, even the mightiest Doomsday wouldn't match Alex's power, let alone this fledgling form. Superman eased until he poked further, asking who the strongest Batman was. Batman's answer? A being beyond gods, a temporal juggernaut. Superman, puffed with pride, boasted about the strongest Superman's destructive prowess only for Batman to shut it down cold. Doesn't matter! That's not you! Superman, speechless. Meanwhile, inside the ever-shifting mirror realm, Alex and Doomsday clashed like titans, their battle leveling the land within 50 meters only for Alex to rebuild it instantly, his pocket universe flooding him with endless energy, making him an unstoppable god of rebirth, in a realm he could reshape at will. In a realm where the laws of reality twist and logic collapses, Alex stood unfazed, dismantling Doomsday over and over, each time testing the limits of the beast's evolution. Though it adapted after 5 deaths to his space slashing, it remained helpless against vector manipulation and the eerie force of purple. Doomsday grew stronger, faster, but its brute instincts were no match for Alex's tactical supremacy. A skyscraper flung like a toy was shredded by the monster, yet Alex remained calm, waiting. Then it came. Mirror Dimension Experience +1. Mirror Dimension leveled up! In an instant, the realm expanded from 5 to 50 kilometers, pulsing with new control. With a flick, Alex condensed a building into a spear, hurling it faster than sound. This time, blood was drawn. A smirk played on his lips. Power surged, Possibilities unfolded. Annoyed by the revolting aura radiating from his foe, Alex conjured a swirling sphere of pure destruction purple, laced with black, red, and white, and without hesitation, forced it into the creature's maw. With a flick of spatial mastery, he hurled Doomsday nearly 50 kilometers away. Then came the blast, cataclysmic, final, atomic. Nothing remained. No cell, no echo. Returning from the mirror realm, Alex stepped into the real world where two legends waited, tense with uncertainty. Their questions flew. Is Doomsday still out there? Alex's face fell into a grim shadow, sparking dread in their hearts. Was it over, or had even he failed? Silence lingered until Alex exhaled. Ah, Doomsday. Time froze. Then he finished, cool and absolute. Of course I neutralized him. Confusion broke across their faces. Then why the long face? Annoyed by the revolting aura radiating from his foe, Alex conjured a swirling sphere of pure destruction purple, laced with black, red, and white, and without hesitation, forced it into the creature's maw. With a flick of spatial mastery, he hurled Doomsday nearly 50 kilometers away. Then came the blast, cataclysmic, final, atomic. Nothing remained. No cell, no echo. Returning from the mirror realm, Alex stepped into the real world where two legends waited, tense with uncertainty. Their questions flew. Is Doomsday still out there? Alex's face fell into a grim shadow, sparking dread in their hearts. Was it over, or had even he failed? Silence lingered until Alex exhaled. Ah, Doomsday. Time froze. Then he finished, cool and absolute. Of course I neutralized him. Confusion broke across their faces. Then why the long face? You thought I was weak? Alex's voice cracked through the air, edged with cosmic disdain. I've neutralized Doomsdays across the multiverse-eviled Apex Ultimate. Your doubt insults me. Superman and Batman stood silent, realization dawning that they'd been played. But relief flooded their eyes better to be deceived than to face a living Doomsday. With the aftermath of the battle still shimmering in the fractured ruins, Alex felt a surge of power, his mirror dimension now level 3. Thoughts drifted to his floating island and a chaotic retreat among his mesmerizing mermaid entourage, but the calm shattered. His six eyes locked onto two incoming signatures, unexpected, powerful, pivotal. Superman and Batman turned just as they landed. A curvaceous warrior princess and a lightning-charged titan, Wonder Woman and Shazam, but Billy Batson shouldn't be awakened yet. Something had shifted. A butterfly wing, perhaps Joker's chaotic hand. Wonder Woman's eyes scanned the wreckage, her voice clear and commanding. An evil presence! Did you encounter it? Wonder Woman's gaze locked onto the Showdown artifact, thrumming with a force that eclipsed even Zeus himself. Shazam, meanwhile, stood frozen in stunned disbelief. Once thrilled to be among Earth's mightiest, he now grasped a bitter truth. Beside the Traveler Batman, he was a flicker in a sunstorm. With effortless calm, Alex shifted focus, turning to Wonder Woman. It's been a while since you returned to Themyscira, hasn't it? Her shock betrayed more than surprise. How could he know? But Alex, veiled behind the passive awareness of Unlimited Void LV4, saw right through her. A cryptic smile curled as he peeled back veils of parallel timeline. In many worlds, we're allies. I know your battles, your exile, your past, and I can help you return. The offer cracked, her hardened resolve hope gleamed in her eyes. You can help me return? She asked, breath caught between awe and longing. Alex nodded. Of course, he said coolly. But I have a condition. Wonder Woman's curiosity sparked the question, and Alex replied with a grin, explaining that even something as enduring as Doomsday has limits if attacked. With forces beyond its capacity to adapt, true annihilation is possible. Superman interrupted, citing Kryptonian records that claim Doomsday can withstand even planet-ending weapon. Alex, unfazed, dismissed him as lacking vision, declaring Kryptonians simply weren't powerful enough to test Doomsday's limits. Then, forming an imaginary energy sword in his hand, its force so overwhelming it made the others recoil, Alex concluded that only attacks severing the laws of space itself could end the monster permanent. Silence followed. Wonder Woman's eyes locked onto the mythical blade, her warrior instinct screaming as a force mightier than Zeus pulsed from it. Shazam stood frozen. Disbelief etched across his face. His godlike strength felt hollow now, exposed as illusion by the Traveler Batman's chilling presence. Once thrilled to be counted among legends, he now saw the brutal truth. Next to this being, they were children mimicking divinity. Alex, veiled in quiet supremacy, turned to Wonder Woman with a cryptic smile, casually unraveling secrets she had never spoken aloud. Themysciran origin, her battles, her exile. Her heart, long burdened by the barrier blocking her return home, sparked with desperate hope as he offered help for a price. Her voice trembled. You can help me return? His reply came cool and assured. Of course, but I have a condition. Wonder Woman, her voice trembling with longing, pleaded for a chance to see her mother and friends again, anything, as long as the price wasn't unbearable. Alex, calm and composed, made his demand. 10 years of servitude as his maid. He spoke not of chores, but of research studying the dormant divine power within her, wondering why only some versions of her across the multiverse could rival titans like Superman. The air thickened with tension as Shazam, young yet fiercely devoted, exploded in protest. A decade was an eternity. The thought of his goddess being someone else's subject, someone else's companion, twisted his insides. Would she be changed? Would bonds form between her and this godlike manipulator? Rage surged through him. Muscles clenched, heart racing, he shouted, trembling with emotion, "No! Wonder Woman can't be your maid!" Lightning cracked the air as fury took form. Shazam's fist blazed toward Alex, driven by wounded pride and blind devotion. "No! I won't let you insult Wonder Woman!" He roared. But Alex's smirk only sharpened, cutting through the tension like a blade. To him, it was just another cosmic cliche. The lovesick defender, the misunderstood god-tier threat. Wonder Woman's voice tried to anchor the moment calm. Clear, true, but rage had already hijacked Shazam's senses. The storm in his hands surged as he struck. Alex, unfazed, met the blow head-on. "All right, enough," he warned, voice like a pressure drop before a superstorm. The collision pure raw force versus vector balance power shattered the stillness in a shockwave that shook the ground. From the cloudburst of impact, a red blur spiraled out Shazam, defeated midair, crashing like a fallen comet. Shazam's rage exploded like a lightning storm as he roared, "No, I won't let you insult Wonder Woman," and lunged at Alex, fists crackling with divine fury. Alex, unfazed, muttered with dry disdain, "Another lovesick fool," already bored of yet another cosmic gladiator blinded by emotion. Wonder Woman tried to defuse the storm. "Shazam, stop! I agreed to this." But her voice couldn't pierce the fury consuming him. The air turned electric. Fists collided in a blinding shockwave as Alex finally snapped, his voice sharp. "All right, enough." Their blows met midair, divine wrath versus transcendent indifference. And in the echo of that collision, Shazam became a red blur hurling through dust and sky, buried by the judgment of a being who bends timelines with a thought. Though powered by 6 gods, Shazam was helpless before Alex's transcendent force of space rippled at Alex's gesture. Reality folded, and in a blink, Shazam was dragged back like a puppet. Within the suffocating grip of the unlimited void, he froze, powerless, as Alex's voice cut through. "You're just a child, unworthy of this mantle. I'm taking it back." Panic surged in Shazam's eyes. Being a hero had rewritten his very identity, and now it was crumbling. "Please, I was wrong. Don't take my powers," he cried, clinging to hope. But Alex, unmoved, stared in silence, cold and calculating. Wonder Woman stepped forward, but Alex's command was sharp. "Remember your place, you serve me now." At that, silence fell. Even Superman dared not speak. Ignoring the boy's desperate pleas, Alex placed his hand on Shazam's head, his limitless LV5 ability flaring to life. In seconds, he pulled the 6 divine imprints from the boy's core, forming a swirling orb of energy that radiated with multicolored god forceless than Superman's peak, but still far beyond Batman's enhanced state. Yet the fragmented nature of the power made it unusable, until Alex turned to Batman, calling him an embarrassment to the multiversal legion that bore his name. With a thunderous word, "Shazam!" A transformation erupted. Symbiote Shazam Batman was born, now rivaling Superman's might without aid. As Batman soared into the sky, mastering his new strength, Alex vanished through a portal with Wonder Woman, leaving Superman to lift the dazed boy from the ground and fly him home silent in judgment. But certain, Billy wasn't ready to bear the weight of godhood. Alex sat in silent focus as Wonder Woman reunited with her long-lost mother on Paradise Island, their past decades collapsing into quiet moments. He didn't interrupt. Instead, deep within his training chamber, energy swirled like storm-tamed glass. Notifications pulsed. Vector manipulation experience +1. Again. Each flash edged him closer until, bam, a new surge hit. Congratulations, your skill, vector manipulation, has leveled up. With level 4 unlocked, the laws of force bowed beneath him. Direction, mass, temperature, once boundaries, now tools. Vectors bent, scalars obeyed. Power surged through his frame, a tidal flood of insight exploding behind his eyes. This was no longer just skill, it was dominion. Hollow purple stood beside it like a twin sun, luminous but elusive. While most powers climbed quickly, these titans demanded blood and brilliance. Yet now, with vectors leashed and reality's threads within reach, Alex knew, with one thought, defenses shattered and gods would kneel. On Paradise Island, Wonder Woman finally reunites with her mother after decades apart, their quiet moment untouched. Meanwhile, Alex retreats into relentless training, his focus razor sharp. Every surge of effort feeds his evolving power vector manipulation until, at last, a breakthrough. Level 4 unlocked. With it, he transcends the laws of direction, twisting not just vectors but scalars mass, density, energy itself into weapons of pure will. Knowledge floods his mind like lightning across a fractal sky. Vector manipulation now stands beside Hollow Purple, a cosmic duo of devastation. Though slower to grow, this power offers sharper control and deeper reach. At its core, it lets Alex bend the battlefield itself, ignoring defenses, rewriting physics, and crushing opposition with precision worthy of a god in ascension. It was Batman wounded, drained, barely standing yet, defiant. Alex appeared beside him in a flash, eyes sharp, voice laced with both mockery and worry. What happened this time? Why are you injured? Again? Batman, battered but unyielding, forced himself upright, his voice grim. Apocalypse is invading. Even with all the forces I gathered, we're being crushed. I need your help. The word apocalypse hit Alex like a trigger so soon? He'd expected more time, especially with Superman intact and the mother boxes sealed under his dominion. But clearly, the multiverse moved on its own rhythm, ignoring even his cosmic foresight. Still, rather than panic, Alex felt the familiar rush another threat, another puzzle, another plague. He smiled faintly. This wasn't a catastrophe, it was an invitation. And after dealing with it, he might just walk into Apocalypse itself and see what the so-called gods were made of. Is this conversation helpful so far?